here we are on one of the most desirable 3-block radius streets in the West End in Ventura, in the city of Ventura. And there's a reason why this 3-block radius, known as Vince Lewis Carr, is one of the most desirable of the West End. And that's because of its historical charm, the wide streets, the wide tree-lined streets. You can see how quiet it is right now. I'm literally walking in the middle of the streets. There's no cars going up and down because this street doesn't go all the way through to the avenue. So key elements like this make it a really desirable area. You don't have as much traffic, it's super quiet, there's shade, there's an ocean breeze hitting me. We're about 1.5 miles from Surfers Point, less than that to downtown, very walkable, huge walkable score here. I think they give it like 74%. And then if you look at the other end, it's also a cul-de-sac. But what's really unique about this 3-street little subdivision is that as you go to Vince Lewis Carr, very eclectic homes, very charming, a lot of pride of ownership, is that they also go up to cul-de-sacs like this. So between these 3 trees, you've got people pushing strollers, walking dogs, being very neighborly, and you get this good, calm sense feel, very quiet neighborhood. Whereas some of the other, and they got the birds in the background, some of the other areas on the avenue, really nice streets, but they might have thoroughfares. For instance, Center Street, you're going to go between Ventura Avenue and Olive Street. So while people are kind of trying to get, you know, in and out and kind of grid into other streets and other parts of the neighborhood, you're going to have a little bit more traffic that direction. So here you don't have that. You've got super cute neighborhood feel on the West End, whereas some people might go down one of the other streets and be like, oh my gosh, the whole West End is like this. It's not. And this neighborhood here is actually very comparable to the quality and desirability that you'd find in Midtown, but for a fraction of the price. The home that we have coming on now, at 1400 Cameron, it's on the corner of Carr and Cameron, being a corner lot. It's going to have this great big RV storage, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, which is rare, only a single car garage. So that's one of the caveats. But because it was done so well and done with permits, you'll see like why it's going to fetch the number that it does. Big surprise for you, we've also got something else coming soon in the works on one of these other streets. Now, who knows the big difference between this street and the streets that go on this way? You've got Leeton, Comstock, McFarland. Those are nice streets too, and you can find nice properties on there. But the thing that's mostly different is there's not as much pride of ownership, and they tend to be a little bit smaller lots. They tend to be a little bit smaller homes. So at today's day and age, we like kind of like the bigger homes, or at least 1,000 to 2,000 square foot homes. With a lot of these Spanish style bungalows, you could be like at 700 or 900 square feet. A lot of times they're only 2-bedroom, 1-bath. They're very easy to outgrow, especially if you have a family, or if you have adults living with you, if you've got grown kids living with you. They get small quick. So a 3-2 is high on the scale of desirability in this neighborhood. I'm going to walk around some of the rest of this neighborhood so you get a vibe and a feel. So here we are looking over some mid-century type properties, a classic car on Carr Street, which is classic. Hillside in the background, tree-lined street, kids playing in the street, not a lot of traffic, perfect neighborhood. Okay, so here we are on the corner of Lewis, and this is the center street between, you know, Lewis, Vince, and then Carr back there. And you can see this really beautiful, you know, Spanish style with a privacy fence and hedges. 2 units on that property, I believe. There's a couple 2-story on this block that have, you know, 4 units, a couple more, especially right here. But then as you get down, it's single family homes. Some of them have detached units. Lewis being a little bit busier. Right there you see a faster car than what we saw on Carr, pun intended. And yeah, we'll check out a couple of these cute little homes, and then we're going to check out Vince, and then we're going to jump into the house. So this is really cool because you've got like a storybook style home. Another 2-story home here. You've got your ranchero style with the cactuses, potted plants on the wall. It's a really well cared for home. Also eclectic because we're next to another storybook home right here, and some classic cars. And then right here, you've got a home for rent. And let's see here, you've got, this was the Spanish style home. I don't know if you guys recall, but we did a video just a little bit ago. I'm gonna find some footage and put it in so you can spring into that. This was one of our best videos that we had done, our most viewed videos, and we're talking about, you know, $200,000 price cut. So this property sold, I think, for under $7. I thought it was a $750 house, $750. It was selling for about $650, so $50,000 lower than market value. And the back unit was already pretty much cherried out, had new electrical panel, had plumbing work done, bathroom and kitchen were to suffice. Really nice studio that would be rent for $2,400-$2,500 a month. And then the front was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and it has been decked out. It's got the smooth stucco Santabarbara finish, and this thing is probably going to be worth like $950,000 or $1,050,000 today. So that is a big moment, big win. So the person may have spent between $100,000 and $150,000, so they got it for $650,000. They're into it for $8,000, but they literally cashed in on a couple $100,000 in equity on this property. This was the best deal, and this was the one that was sitting there while everyone else was picking up the whole low-hanging fruit. Because what was happening is people didn't know the difference between this block and the next block, or that this was the hot pocket and this was one of the largest lots, best income potential with the 2 units or use of home with the 2-car garage, and it just had so much going on for it that was kind of a miss by our local community. It was a local investor, buy and hold, who bought it. It wasn't necessarily someone looking for something, but it was like, you know what, if this deal's too good to pass up, but you know what's passing it up? Sorry, it's kind of you guys, or other people that were watching at the time. Maybe you guys aren't in the market yet, but these are the moments. This is why you pick up and you call me, evaluate what's currently on, ask me what's coming soon, because there are things that are coming up and there are opportunities to buy fixers. So some other people got a fixer for $500,000, resale value $750,000, but this one resale value is like 1.1, $1,050,000, and you're buying it for $650,000. That's way better than the $500,000. Way better, and you're on the and because you're on the better street. You know, this is a clean, quiet street. So if you're going to be committed to the West End, you're going to be committed to Ventura, you've got to go with a specialist. Let me know. We're looking for you. So thanks so much for listening to that tough love. If you want a premium property like this one, or you want the fixer, somewhere in between, I don't know if you're watching these videos, you have to make the first move. I'll give you the time of day. So behind this privacy fence hedge wall, we broke the record. I believe it was 960. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was definitely during COVID, of this area was starting to pop. We sold another one in the 9s on Lewis, and it really set the precedent. Ventura Avenue has been holding that price of mid-9s for premium properties only, and then some. A couple at 1.1, a couple at 1.3. But the one we've got coming up, the one that this video is about, is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, listed at $895, listed a little under, a satisfactory price. However, sellers are going to let the market dictate the price, and I believe it'll probably end up going to $925, $930-ish, potentially $950. Personal opinion, I don't think it'll go over that, but I can't dictate. I can't say that, oh yes, it's going to go to $1 million, or oh yes, it's going to be, you know, at this said price. We do marketing at 10 plus, at a level 10 on everything that we do, from the photos, from the videos, from the print, from the staging, from the prep. Everything is 10 out of 10 on day one. All the documents, all the disclosures, so that if we get the best offer you could ever hope for on day one, that we can accept it. And that's good marketing, that's good skills, that's always being in the driver's seat in the seller's game. Too often I see agents putting stuff on, you know, they're not ready. The work's not even done yet. They're like, well, let's just put it on and see what we can get. You know, and like these strategies matter. And there's a right way to do it. There's the best way to do it. And if you're not ready to do it the best way, then don't go on the market. Don't waste your days on the market by launching and having a terrible launch. You can tell by the pride of ownership, the quietness of this street, the eclecticness of the finishes, that this is a desirable neighborhood. Okay, now here we are on Vint Street, and one of the important things to notice about this area, that although it's one of the most desirable areas because the eclectic homes, well cared for homes, well manicured, quiet streets, great neighborhood, is this hill is known for sloughing. And right there, that's like a scarp is what it's called, where it's sloughing off and potential slides. So you've got high fire zone, insurance issues, you've got, and the catastrophe of it happening. Sometimes people just talk about oh, can I afford the insurance? Well, can you afford the catastrophe? You have to think about that too, especially with mudslides. So my rule is kind of 10 houses out, 5 houses, you're probably safe, but 10 houses back, you're probably not gonna get hit by it. But even if it happens and it doesn't get your house, there could be casualties, there could be, heavy consequences, there could be all the work going on, like when that does happen. Attention does need to be brought here. It's been known by the city, but because the hillside is owned by 3 different entities, shale oil company, a little bit of the city, and then some private property owners, although we know there's something needs to be done, no one's really doing it, because if they have it surveyed and they investigate and there's a problem, now they know there's a problem, they have to do something about it. So it's really weird legalese in California and our states that you're safer not being safe. Weird stuff. So it's like you feel like there should be some sort of precedent set, where if you have a community like this, the government would step in some sort of way and say, hey, here's what we can do to help. It doesn't have to be eminent domain, but it's like we're going to take some action and some responsibility and save this community from a potential catastrophe. So that's kind of some of the stuff we want to look at. Got some cute little doggies over there. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. We're going to jump in the house right now, and thanks for being patient.